Okay, guys, let's talk about this Marcus Aquino photo because for me, this is more than just a simple picture. I'm not saying that Marcus and Aquino are officially forming an alliance. There is no confirmation of that. But politically, you cannot blame people for asking questions. For decades, Marcos and Aquino were presented as two completely opposing political camps. And now, we are seeing the First Lady Lisa Marcos together with Chris Aquino, Josh, and Bimby. And honestly, I understand why some Aquino supporters are confused. Because if you're an Aquino supporter who spent years criticizing the Marcos family, how are you supposed to interpret this? But here's the part that really concerns me. The Duterte family. Why does this feel unfair to the Dutertes? Because if political enemies like Marcos and Aquino can suddenly find common ground, build relationships, and potentially cooperate, why does the Duterte family seem to be treated as the political enemy that everyone can unite against? That's the question. If the argument is that political differences should be set aside for unity, then that principle should apply to everyone, including the Duterte family, right? You cannot say, let's forget the past because we need unity when it's convenient for one political camp, but then say, we will never work with the Duterte camp when it comes to another. That's where people will naturally see a double standard. And I'm not saying the Dutertes are automatically right or that they should be protected from investigation or criticism. If there are allegations, investigate them. If there is evidence, present it. If someone committed a crime, hold that person accountable. Whether that person is a Marcos, Aquino, Duterte, Romualdez, or anyone else. That's supposed to be the standard. But here's what I don't want to see. Political alliances deciding who gets forgiven and who gets destroyed. Because if Marcos and Aquino can move past decades of political hostility, while the Duterte family continues to be treated as the common target, Filipinos have every right to ask, is this really about principles or is this about political survival? And to the Aquino supporters who are confused right now, I think your question is also legitimate, guys. If Marcos is suddenly someone you can sit with, smile with, and possibly cooperate with, then what exactly happened to the political principles that separated Marcos and Aquino for decades? Again, I'm not saying this photo proves a political alliance. But if a Marcos Aquino rapprochement eventually becomes a political partnership, then we have to look at the consequences. Because the Duterte family could potentially find themselves facing a much broader political coalition. And that's why this picture is politically interesting. Not because two people smiled for a camera, but because in Philippine politics, alliances change, enemies become friends, and yesterday's impossible partnership can become tomorrow's political strategy. So let's not just look at the picture. Let's watch what happens next. And that's all for now. Bye.